Hi, Kathryn here with Circle Art Designs. I know it's not Friday Kit Day, but this is the other video that I had in the works to get out on Friday, and it just didn't happen. This is our Dyed Bamboo Coral kit you can find in the shop. It makes one bracelet and matching earrings. When you get your kit, you should find a large envelope or bag with two smaller ones inside. One of your bags should have your dyed bamboo coral chips in it. I just love the rich color of these bamboo coral chips. The red is amazing. And the other little bag will be your findings bag. This will have everything in it that you need to make the bracelet and the earrings, plus a little extra. Sorry, my fingers weren't wanting to open that little bag. So once you get your little bag open, you will find your head pins. These will be for the earrings. For the earrings, you will also find 2 earring hooks and some peanuts. I just love working with these little peanuts. They make a perfect join between two things, and I love the figure 8. In this kit, we will also be using our silver tone donut spacers. And we will need a few of our 3mm silver spacer beads. Would you take a moment please and like and leave a comment for this video? Thank you so much. You will also find jump rings in the kit and a magnetic clasp. You will only need 2 of the jump rings, but if you want to add a little length, I added a little extra. For some reason, this magnetic clasp was stuck together. I had to take my pliers and pull it apart, then it worked fine. Now on to the larger bag. Now in the bag you will find, for this bracelet, a brown piece of about 4 1/4 to 4 1/2 inches of jewelry tubing. This will be our looks like leather. Also in the bag you will find 1 round of memory wire. This will make the bones of your bracelet. So to get started, we're going to turn a circle on one end of our memory wire, exactly like we did in last Friday's video. You will need a pair of straight nose pliers for this, or round nose pliers for this. Holding the end of the wire between your round nose pliers with it flush against the far side, you're going to begin to do small twisting movements, twisting that memory wire towards the memory wire bracelet on the top of the circle. And once you have that done, we're going to take our jewelry tubing and putting the 2 ends together, we're going to cut it right down the center. I am going to use my wire cutters. You can use scissors if you want to. And check to make sure that the ends are as close to the same size as possible, and even them out, clipping it flat. Once that's done, go ahead and put your 3mm bead on in the silver, and then we're going to slide that tubing onto the bracelet frame. At this point, you're going to go ahead and want to choose 2 or 4 little stones you're going to use for the earrings and put them to the side, and 2 donuts. Once we have our 3mm round spacer and our jewelry tubing on, we want to put another round spacer. Then we want to start with your donut, a chip, your donut, a chip, until you finish your focal. With your focal, you can either eyeball it, or you can take a straight line from the cut straight up to the other side of the bracelet, move about 3mm to the side that you turn the loop on, and that will be where you want to put your center chip, and then complete it by following the same pattern you did on the first. Now, because I've done several of these, I am aiming for between 9 and 11 donuts. I count the donuts. I start with a donut, I'll end with a donut. But you do it however feels most comfortable to you. Once I get the amount that I think I'm going to need, then I will put on my other side of the jewelry tubing so that I can measure it against the previous side. Once you're ready to measure, put on your 3mm round ball spacer and then slip on your tube. Well, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to take my pliers, my chain nose pliers. I'm going to take the tip of my bracelet frame, and then I am going to pull. Remember, this jewelry tubing is very forgiving and it's flexible, so you want to pull that up tight, and then you can put on your 3mm bead and turn it just like you did the first side. I just think it's amazing the way that works. It looks like you just barely have enough to grab on with your pliers, and you grab it and you pull back with your other hand, and you have what you need to turn your circle. It'll become really snug, and your 3mm beads will fit right up against that loop on both sides, and you shouldn't lose anything. I have to tell you, things were a little crazy today when I went to edit this. I had to change where my storage was over the weekend, and somehow my videos got all out of sync and they were out of order, and I thought, what is going on? I'm so glad. I think I finally have this going the way it's supposed to go. And now we come to another turning point. Decision time. Do you want to just use the one jump ring on each side, or you want to do 2 jump rings on each side for your magnetic clasp? This gives you a little more room one way or the other. There's really no right or wrong. So after moving all my components for my earrings, making sure I have enough, I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers. I'm going to put my jump ring between my 2 pliers with the slit at the top. Then taking one of my wrists, I'm going to twist it to open the jump ring. Then I'm going to put my bracelet on first and then my magnetic clasp. Close the jump ring and then lay the bracelet down with the same side up. And you might be thinking, well, why is that so important? Well, I have to tell you, I'm not really quite sure why it's that important, but having had to take a lot of these magnetic clasps off, it is very important that the bracelet goes on first, then the magnetic clasp, then laying it down where the same side faces up. Open up your next clasp. Put your bracelet on from the same side. I always go from the back to the front. And then slip on your magnetic clasp and close the jump ring. It'll save you a lot of time and effort. When I was closing this jump ring, I got a little over ambitious whenever I was closing it, and I caused one side to slip under the other. Therefore, I am taking my round nose pliers and going into that circle and pulling that jump ring up just a little bit so that the ends meet again. And there you have it. This bracelet is finished and we're ready to move on to our earrings. But before we do, let's take a look at how this lays on the wrist, shall we? Oh dear, too high up on the screen. Let me get this back down into the picture frame. I just think these colors are amazing. I am definitely making one of these for myself. I put back enough so that I could do that and still have kits available for you. Now it's time for us to start our dangle earrings. We will be using the slightly larger head pins in your kit than these, but they are silver plated and I think they're beautiful. And because of the size of the hole in the donut spacers, I would normally put that one on bottom, but it just fell through as you saw. So we're starting with a chip, and then we'll put our donut hole, and then we'll put another chip. And because I had a few of the smaller chips left over, I'm going to go ahead and put 3 on for this pair. Really, 1, 2, 3, it doesn't really matter. It's what your taste is and how many you had to use for your bracelet. Now for turning these, I like to put the end at the very tip of my straight nose pliers. Once I do that, it's that turning motion we did with the bracelet, we're going to just take little turning motions with our wrists until we have rolled this head pin all the way down to touch the first or the last stone, really, that you put on the head pin for your dangle part of your earring. Once that's done and you like where it's sitting and there's nothing rough hanging out, you'll have to cut it off if there is. That meant you got it too high up, too far out whenever you began to twist. Then you're going to take your straight nose pliers and you're going to push the circles together so it makes one tight little circle. Now let's go ahead and do the dangle for the other earring. You're going to do this exactly the same way. Put on your first chip, then your donut, then your second chip, if you're going with a second chip. I would, at least, because these donuts have such a big hole. And then a third if you have it available, or not, it's up to you. And then twist that circle down, close it up to make a complete circle, and we're ready to add the earring wires. Now, to join the earring to the dangle, we're going to use those little peanuts that make that pretty little figure 8. The first thing you want to do is put one of your dangles onto the figure 8 and then close only one of the circles up. You want that circle to fit tight up against, without squishing it, the other side. Gently with firmness is the watchwords of the day when you're working with these figure 8 peanuts. Now we're going to take our ear wire and we're going to put it on the top loop of the peanut. And again, gently but firmly, you're going to press that little peanut to where one end touches the other end, and you should have a beautiful figure 8 whenever you're through. Isn't that just lovely? I love these things. I don't know why they didn't come into my life sooner. And now we're ready to do the other side. While you're doing the other side of the earring, I want to just say thank you so much for joining me today on this beading adventure. The kits for this bamboo coral is in our shop, our online shop. It is at circleartdesigns.com. It will take you to a Square site because that's what I use for my shop. You will find this bracelet and earring set that we've made today in the shop also under the leather and ... collection. I want to thank you so much for everyone who has viewed the Friday Kits video. I was really amazed at how well it did. Thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful beading adventure today. Isn't that just a lovely piece? I like every one of the kits. Now you will have a few leftovers to add to your stash. Not much, but a few. I'll add a few pictures at the end so you can see the finished product. I will see you later in the week. You have a great day, a great evening. Kathryn, circleartdesigns.com.